first of all, sir, you are saying that you will remove CAA as soon as you come to power.
No. Let me tell you what our position on the CAA is. We opposed the CAA in December 2019. We opposed it because we believed it was unconstitutional. Citizenship is not defined on the basis of religion in the Indian Constitution. We fought a battle. We lost the battle. The bill was bulldozed in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. All our speakers opposed it aggressively, but we lost. But that is what democracy is all about. We made our point of view and we lost. Now, see what happens. The bill is passed in December 2019. BJP takes 9 extensions from the Supreme Court for promulgating rules. And it takes 4 years and 3 months for the rules to be promulgated. When do they get promulgated? 1 month before the 2024 Lok Sabha election. Why were they promulgated now? Because Assam, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Gujarat. So my question to the Prime Minister, you passed the law in December 2019. Normally, within 6 months, the rules of any law are placed before Parliament. This is the first time in Indian parliamentary history that 4 years and 3 months have been taken for the rules to come out. So clearly in December 2019, Prime Minister was very clear, Home Minister was very clear that these rules will come only before 2024 election. Why Hindus of Sri Lanka are excluded? On what basis? Why Indians in Myanmar are excluded? Why Indians in other countries are excluded? So all these questions we have raised. Now, we believe that this is unconstitutional. When we come to power, we'll have a debate on it. We'll subject it to fresh scrutiny. But these are the questions. Question is not whether we will bring CAA or not. The question is, why did they take... we made our point, we opposed it, we continue to believe it is against the Indian Constitution. It is selective. I'm giving you one example. There are a large number of Hindus, Tamils in Sri Lanka. How come they were excluded? Why were they excluded? Myanmar, there are Hindus in Myanmar. Why were they excluded? So there are many questions that can be raised. So at the present moment of time, all I can say is that this is unconstitutional. This has become a political instrument. We should revisit it because it strikes at the very root of our constitution.
So you are not saying that you will repeal it straight away?
No, it has to go through a process. No?
Okay.
We believe in the parliamentary process. There has to be debate. There has to be discussion. You don't bulldoze laws. This last 10 years, laws have been bulldozed. Bills have been bulldozed. Remember, the 3 anti-farm laws were bulldozed in September of 2020. And finally, because of farmers' agitation, Prime Minister had to withdraw these laws in November of 2021. Never before in Indian parliamentary history have so many bills been bulldozed through Parliament. There is bulldozer outside Parliament, there is bulldozer inside Parliament. Yogi bulldozer outside, Modi bulldozer inside. So we have to go through the parliamentary process. But clearly the Congress party believes that the CAA strikes at the very root of our constitution by defining citizenship on the basis of religion. That is what our objection is.
Is it one of the key points of your election rallies this time?
No, our key point is on unemployment. Our key point is not CAA.
On unemployment,
No,
I'm coming to.
our key point is jobs. Our key point is inflation. Our key point is the 5 Nyayas.
Inflation.
Nari Nyay, Mahila Nyay, Yuva Nyay, Kisan Nyay, Shramik Nyay, and Hissedari Nyay. Just give me my bag here. Just give me the guarantee card. So these are the issues that we are going.
I'm coming back to this CA and foreigners issue.
Yes, yes.
Because let me finish it first.
Yeah.
So in case of Assam, we are facing a very peculiar situation because of infiltration.
Yeah.
Okay.
These are our issues. These are the guarantee cards. These are guarantee cards. We are distributing 8 crore guarantee cards. 21 lakh guarantee cards are being distributed in Assam. These are the 5 guarantees. 5 Nyayas I mentioned to you. And these are the 25 guarantees.
Sir, do you have English copies?
You have an English copy?
Soft copy.
Send it to him. I'll give you the English on your WhatsApp.
Okay, fine. So let me come back to the.
Yes.
So Assam is facing a peculiar situation because we are being threatened to be outnumbered in our own homeland. So if Assamese states were created on the basis of language, so if we are outnumbered, Assam will never remain. This is our big threat for CA.
The Congress party is completely opposed to. I mean, we understand the sentiments and aspirations of the Assamese people. And look at the paradox of the NRC. NRC was hailed as a great instrument for protecting Assam's identity. Look at the number of Hindus who were excluded from the NRC. I don't have to tell you. You know it more than me, better than me. And then when it was inconvenient for the BJP, they made Pratik Hajela the scapegoat. I mean, I've never met Mr. Hajela in my life.
He's a good friend.
I've never met him in my life. But he did a job. He's an IAS officer, young fellow, qualified chap. He did his job. And he's being made a scapegoat because the results did not coincide with the prejudices of the BJP. So the question that you raise, the protection of Assamese identity, protection of Assamese land, this is paramount. And you see, the only instrument that the BJP, RSS have is the politics of divisiveness. And let me take you back to a question that you raised of the Prime Minister in your interview last week. Manipur was the trailer. Prime Minister says, पिछले 10 साल में जो हुआ है वो trailer है. Manipur was a trailer in the last 11 months. You play the Meiteis against the Kukis, you play the Kukis against the Nagas. You bluff different sections of society. And 11 months, Prime Minister has not gone to Manipur. He gave long answer to your question in his interview. But what he did not tell you, which you know very well, 11 months he has not been to Manipur. 11 months he has not spoken to CM of Manipur. 11 months he has not had a discussion with his MOS External Affairs, who is from Manipur, who represents Inner Manipur, R.K. Ranjan. He has not met political parties of Manipur. He has not met MLAs of Manipur. So Manipur, what has happened in Manipur is a trailer. So these guys just want to play one. Go to Nagaland. 2015, they sign a framework agreement with one group, Naga group. 2017, they have an agreement with another Naga group. 2022, they have an agreement with a third Naga group, Eastern Nagaland and Po. We don't have the details of any of these agreements. This is bluff and rule, no? The British divide and rule. Mr. Modi is bluff and rule. So this is what we have to. The entire complexion of the Northeast has been sought to be changed in the last 10 years. And what these guys want, what the Congress party is fighting against, is uniformity. See, I tell you, Article 370 was removed from the Constitution. Okay? We believe it was removed unconstitutionally, but that's a separate issue. The next target will be Article 371A for Nagaland, 371B for Assam, 371C for Manipur, 371F for Sikkim, 371G for Mizoram, and 371H for Arunachal Pradesh. Now, what are these provisions? These are provisions that give special protection to culture, traditions, land, ownership of resources. All this is under threat because their single point agenda is uniformity. And that is what we are fighting against.
Now, going back to infiltration issue, your Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi signed the accord.
Yes.
Unfortunately, he died.
Yes.
And then the subsequent governments, be it Narasimha Rao, be it Dr. Manmohan Singh, who represented Assam, did very little to implement the accord. Why?
You saw IIT Guwahati is a consequence of the accord.
No, sir.
Numaligarh refinery is a consequence of the accord.
That are fine. I'm talking about the main point of the accord. That is sealing of the border. There, BJP also not doing it. I fully agree.
Yeah.
But detection and deportation of foreigners.
We have not been in power for 10 years.
No.
Last 10 years we have not been in power.
No, last 10 years. The previous
I'm
year.
just saying, last 10 years we have not been in power. Mr. Vajpayee was in power for 6 years. 16 years, BJP has been in power. After the Assam Accord. Assam Accord was signed in 1985. That means 15 plus 23, 38 years. Out of 38 years, 16 years was BJP. What has BJP done?
No, I'm
asking.
That is what I said. The BJP has not done nothing, but what you have done, because your Prime Minister has said.
We have IIT Guwahati has become operational. Numaligarh refinery has become operational. Look at all the commitments that had been made in the Assam Accord for development of Assam. And let me tell you, most important thing. I was in Assam in 2001. I came when Mr. Tarun Gogoi got the majority the first time. There was no salary to pay state government employees. It was a bankrupt state. And for 15 years, Mr. Tarun Gogoi, helped by Dr. Manmohan Singh, from 2004 onwards, completely turned Assam around. What you're seeing today, I'll give you, I brought a lot of my friends when I was minister. I said, let us take a walk on GS Road. I remember bringing the chairman of TCS, Mr. Ramadurai, when Mr. Hemanto Sharma was Minister for Industry and Commerce. There's a photograph in the newspaper with Ramadurai, myself, Tarun Gogoi and Hemanto. I said, let us walk on GS Road. This GS Road in 2001, you couldn't walk. There was nothing. And today you walk on GS Road. You could be walking in Bombay, you could be walking in Bangalore, you could be walking in Hyderabad, you can be walking anywhere. That is the transformation of the Assam Accord.
No, I'm talking about the major issue, that deportation of foreigners and detection.
These are sensitive issues.
Ah.
Okay, these are very sensitive issues.
Because
we have these are sensitive issues.
sensitive, I know, because let me finish, sir, please.
Yeah, please.
Sensitive because we cannot antagonize Bangladesh at this moment.
No, more than that.
That I know.
One thing, it is sensitive and it is also humanitarian. Both. Sensitive and humanitarian. The fact that BJP has been in power for 16 out of the last 38 years and they have not moved a little inch shows the complexity of the issue. It's easy to say in an agreement, but how are you going to implement it? And you are absolutely right. We have Bangladesh. We believe that people of Bangladesh are people, unlike the Home Minister who calls them termites.
Because if you antagonize Bangladesh, China may come in, take over Bangladesh, and then you are finished. We are cornered from every angle.
Already we are seeing the consequences. China and Maldives, China and Sri Lanka, China and Bhutan, China and Bangladesh, China and Myanmar. These are all having implications for India. We have to be a little careful. That's all I'm saying. We have to be careful. We have to create a political consensus. And this is one issue, in my view, that all political parties have to come together. There are certain issues in which should not be made an instrument of domestic politics. Now, Mr. Modi has made Kachchativu. This was an agreement that was signed in 1976. Now he's saying we must get Kachchativu. Are you going to go to war with Sri Lanka to take Kachchativu back? Is that what the Prime Minister is saying? Is that what Mr. Jaishankar is saying? So, there are certain issues which we must recognize the sensitivity of those issues. And you keep on harping on those issues. And when you have an opportunity for doing something, you don't do anything. And this is a classic, the question that you asked me of the Congress. I agree, it's a very valid question. But it should also be asked of the Prime Minister. That for 16 years your party was in power. What have you done? You constantly accused the Congress party of playing vote bank politics.
Achha, again, Dr. Manmohan Singh held a meeting, a tripartite meeting involving Assam government and All Assam Students Union on 5th of May 2005.
Yes.
And there were certain decisions taken. But
NRC was a consequence of that decision.
I know.
And NRC was a consequence of that decision.
So, apart from NRC, the other decisions couldn't be implemented.
Yeah, but
what went wrong?
I have no idea what went wrong. I was not involved. But I can tell you, NRC was certainly a consequence of that meeting. And from 2006, my involvement with Assam begins to become more intensive because I was given the responsibility for the developmental aspects of the, of that meeting that had happened. The tea industry, infrastructure, IT, commerce, those types of Look East policy, all those things I was handling.
So coming to Look East, now what they call it Act East. Now Modi is saying that development of, you have a call I think. Development of Northeast will be key for Act East. But now my question is, look at the situation in Myanmar. Whether you call it Look East or Act East, if the situation in Myanmar remains the same, will it be possible to implement the policy?
No, very difficult. Absolutely very difficult. You see what has happened in Sitwe? I was the one who launched the Sitwe project in 2008. And Sitwe was, finally, when Sarbananda Sonowal went, last year.
Ah.
First man to go to Sitwe was me. Kaladan project was conceived of during Dr. Manmohan Singh's government. In 2008, I went to Sitwe. I spent 2 days in Rakhine. It was a very important project for us because what it does is it gives an alternative connectivity for the northeast to the rest of the country. Instead of Bangladesh or Chicken's Neck, you come, you take the highway, come to the border with Mizoram. From Mizoram, you come to Paletwa. Paletwa, you come to Sitwe. And Sitwe, you go to Calcutta, Visakhapatnam, Chennai, wherever you
And
want.
Chennai Calcutta is very
Very
nearby.
close. So we launched the Sitwe project. Now you see what has happened in Sitwe. I saw the newspaper that Adani has. It was given to Adani. It had to be given to Adani because port is equal to Adani. So it was given to Adani. Now I am told Adani has sold off his interest.
So the basic point is, if the Myanmar situation remains the same, whichever party is in the government at the center, whether it is NDI alliance, whether it is BJP alliance, will the policy succeed?
See, what you need,
We cannot do anything about Myanmar situation.
We cannot. But what we need is, first of all, what we need is a policy that recognizes the enormous diversities of the Northeast, number one. Number two, what you need is a policy that says we will accommodate these diversities. We will not impose a uniformity on them. Third, you will need to have a broader policy of engagement. Now, we'll take China, for example. China is a player in this region. You cannot run away from it. You cannot run away. It is claiming possession over Arunachal Pradesh. It is playing a game in Myanmar. It has had a long history of interference in northeastern affairs in other states, Mizoram, Manipur and all these places.
Helping out militants.
What did, on the 19th of June 2020, what did the Prime Minister say? He gave he was speaking in an all-party meeting, and that video is available. You must have seen it. I tweeted the video this morning. I'll send you a copy. He says nobody has come. ना कोई बाहर से आया है, ना कोई हमारे जमीन पर कब्जा करके बैठा हुआ है. So my question to Prime Minister: if there is no incursion, why are the Chinese taking an excursion? What are they doing in Ladakh? He has in fact destroyed the basis of any negotiations by saying that there is no incursion. So, Mr. Modi likes to project a muscular policy, but there is no policy. Headlines are not a substitute for policy. Now, Kachchativu. Look, he has completely damaged our bilateral relations with Sri Lanka by raising it is a non-issue, first of all. Secondly, when Kachchativu agreement took place, 600,000, 6 lakh Sri Lankan Tamils were given Indian citizenship. 6 lakh. And there is a place near Kachchativu called Wadge Bank, W-A-D-G-E, Bank. W-A-D-G-E. It's a island, it's a small island. This is an oil-rich island. This came to India's control. He doesn't talk about this. He only says Kachchativu, Kachchativu, Kachchativu. Are you going to war with Sri Lanka? What are you saying? So, we have to. Myanmar is a very critical, is very important. The situation in Manipur, the situation in Mizoram, the situation. Suddenly, Home Minister says, I'm going to end, what is that called? Free movement. Suddenly, he announces. It is opposed by CM of Mizoram. It is opposed by CM of Nagaland. Okay, CM of Mizoram is not part of his alliance, but CM of Nagaland is part of his alliance. Doesn't even think through, no. Is it the policy of the government of India? And incidentally, that policy which he is abandoning was introduced by the Modi government 5 years ago. What's it called? Free movement regime. free movement regime, FMR. FMR was introduced by Modi government. And now suddenly they're saying, I'm going to give up FMR. Have you thought through it? Have you consulted the CMs of the region? Have you called the CMs of the region and talked to them?
You mean to say they're bulldozing everything?
It's a bulldozer. It's a one-man bulldozer. At the steering wheel of the bulldozer, there is one man and there is one cleaner along with the bulldozer. These are the two people sitting on the bulldozer. You know, you need two people for the bulldozer. One person navigating the bulldozer, another man, cleaning the bulldozer.
Coming to China, again, I have been visiting China border for a long time. Of late, of course, after 2019, I have not visited because I had a physical issue. So, the point is, what I had seen during my initial days in journalism, there was hardly any infrastructure. One day, I specifically remember this because of a tragic incident. A major broke his leg in one of the camps. They couldn't evacuate it for 3 days in that snow because there was no road and they couldn't use a chopper. You know, you have been visiting Arunachal Pradesh for a long time. I know you use choppers also.
I got lost over Mechuka once.
And I think Gegong Apong found a way finally. I remember.
Actually, Gegong Apong was telling the pilot
where to go.
Yahan se jao, wahan se jao.
Gegong Apong told me that incident. So I know more than pilots over there. So my point is, why Congress governments didn't do anything for development of the border areas? Was it a fear that China will take over?
No. We launched a BADP. Border Area Development Program was launched by the Congress Party.
Oh, but
we launched the Border Area Development Program. I myself have spent so much time in Arunachal Pradesh on rural roads program in the border areas of Arunachal Pradesh.
No, but
in Manipur, the whole infrastructure at Moreh was created. I went to Moreh.
But the issue is we are lagging far behind China as of date.
No, China was very aggressive. They established infrastructure. We began late, no doubt, but we caught up. But my point is,
not yet,
this
sir.
Prime Minister says, I have met the Chinese President 18 times. They were sitting on a swing together in Ahmedabad. He was wearing a dhoti in Mahabalipuram. 18 times they have met. What is the consequence of all that? Please tell me. You've been to China so many times. You've met the Chinese President 18 times. Why did you give that clean chit to China on the 18th of June? 19th of June 2020? You blame the Congress for everything. Fine. But 10 years you've been the Prime Minister. What have you been doing?
Now, coming to the elections, how do you rate your chances, India Alliance chances?
I will just jog your memory a little. 2003, December. Congress party lost Chhattisgarh badly. It lost Madhya Pradesh badly. It lost Rajasthan badly. India was shining then. And Bhishma Pitamaha was Prime Minister. Right? Nobody gave us a chance. In fact, Mr. Vajpayee was so confident that he advanced the election 8 months. Elections were due only in October of 2004. They took place 8 months in advance. They advanced it 8 months. And you know the result, what happened. We became the single largest party in 2004. And UPA government was formed. So, all I can tell you is that there is an undercurrent. People are fed up, different sections of society. There are vocal sections who are not fed up. That I agree. Stock markets don't seem to be fed up. But farmers are fed up. Workers are fed up. Youth certainly is fed up with the unemployment. Today, have you seen the CSDS Lok Niti poll survey? which says that the top issue are economic issues, unemployment issues. There are industrialists, some industrialists are not fed up, no doubt. Stock markets are booming, no doubt. But the general public seems to be fed up of 10 years of Jumla Bazi. So I think the time for change. In 2004, India sprang a surprise. 20 years later, India will spring a surprise.
What is wrong with the alliance in Assam? Because in one seat, CPM is fighting against Congress. 3 seats, Trinamool Congress is fighting against you.
Trinamool Congress, we don't have a seat sharing.
No, let me finish, sir. AAP is fighting in 2 seats. They withdrew 1 finally. What is wrong with the alliance? You didn't.
Some states we have not been able to. For example, we've not been able to have a seat sharing formula with TMC in Bengal. Okay, but it does not mean that they are not part of the India group. We have an alliance with Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi. We have an alliance with the Aam Aadmi Party in Haryana. So there's some states we have an alliance with Aam Aadmi Party in Gujarat. We have not, for local, there are local conditions, local political realities, local candidates, local level compulsions and factors. But
actually, the problem is what I personally feel in Assam. I don't know about other states. You started very late. See, if you have to put Gaurav in Jorhat, you should have decided much earlier. You gave him very little time. This is personal, not for.
Well, let me tell you that what the Assam Chief Minister did was completely unconstitutional. The delimitation that he bulldozed through. The Election Commission only gave its rubber stamp. This whole delimitation exercise was done in order to influence the 2024 election. It had no logic other than that. And sadly, the Election Commission went along instead of calling Mr. Himanto's bluff. Yeah, I mean, in retrospect, one could say that we should have started earlier. All that is fine. We could have announced many of our candidates earlier. But the Congress party is like the elephant. When the elephant moves, it moves decisively. But it takes time for the elephant to move. We're not like a tiger.
Since you are a well-read man, have you read the...
You're like the Kaziranga elephant.
Since you are a well-read man, not like many other politicians, have you read Jeffrey Archer's First Among Equals?
Yes, absolutely. Many years ago.
Many years. So, they have a system that... what they called it, I forgot the term. That one is cabinet, another is opposition's cabinet. Shadow cabinet. Shadow. So, can this kind of arrangement made in India?
Well, it's difficult, we have often thought about it. We've often discussed it.
If you give one senior person to look after one department, then you can always put up questions parliament in a better way.
No, without calling it a shadow cabinet, we have people who have specialized. For example, in the Lok Sabha, whenever there is a foreign policy issue or an issue affecting the Northeast, our immediate speaker is Gaurav Gogoi, who opened our debate in the no confidence motion in August 2024 and August 2023. It is Gaurav Gogoi. Why? Because the no confidence motion was brought on the issue of what is happening in Manipur. So Gaurav Gogoi opened the debate.
And he spoke really well.
So we have such specialties. On China, Manish Tiwari speaks. On political issues, we have Shashi Tharoor who specializes. We don't have designated, like the British system, shadow this, shadow that. But we have, people, even in the Rajya Sabha, even in the Lok Sabha, we have people who are called upon to speak on particular issues. For example, in the Rajya Sabha, when the CAA came, Abhishek Singhvi spoke. Mr. Chidambaram spoke.
Hmm.
So but we don't have that shadow system.
That is a fantastic system.
It's interesting. But without calling it the shadow
But
system,
the
it's a specialized system.
shadow cabinet ministers also get equal respect.
Yeah, they're treated.
Treated.
But then the British system is different. No, it's a two-party system.
Ah.
It's only two parties, only Labour and Conservative.
And then one Irish party, I think.
Yeah. So if we say, if you treat somebody from the Congress as shadow finance minister, the Aam Aadmi Party fellow will say, I can also be finance minister. So that's the problem.
Achha, sir, last question. Unemployment, what is your policy to deal with the issue?
See, we have made youth unemployment the centerpiece of our entire campaign. So we have given 5 promises.
What is your
guarantees? 5 guarantees. We are saying that we will pass a right to apprenticeship act. That means any diploma holder, any graduate holder will get 1 lakh of rupees for 1 year apprenticeship in the area in which he has graduated. So the first employment, he does not face unemployment when he graduates. He will face an apprenticeship program for 1 year. Then we have said there are 30 lakh government jobs that are lying vacant today. Central government jobs. These are sanctioned jobs. Sanctioned jobs. Anganwadi workers, Asha workers, midday meal workers, public sector workers, central government employees. 30 lakh posts are falling vacant. What we have said is we'll publish a calendar, and month-wise we will try to complete this recruitment process in a year or 2. So this is the second.
But you cannot deal with the problem, unemployment problem, by giving government jobs. The government will collapse.
30 lakh is a starting point. Starting point. Then we have a program which we have said we will create a startup fund of 5,000 crores, which will be spread across all districts. 5,000 crores. Which, to begin with, it could go to 10,000 crores later on. But to begin with, say in Golaghat district, there are some youth who want to start some businesses for the startup funds. So this will be the startup fund, not the entire funding, but the startup requirements, infrastructure requirements. So we will set up a startup fund. This will be given directly to the entrepreneur. See, today, Modi government has set up an incubator fund. But that money does not come to you. It comes to some fund. And from that fund, it comes to you. So this is a direct startup fund. Then what we are saying is, we are going to provide social security to the gig economy. Because today, there are millions and millions of workers. Zomato, Amazon, Uber, all this gig economy, which are based on the app-based economy. So we will give them, Rajasthan, our government passed a law, and we will pass a central government law which will ensure that there are basic working conditions of these youth are going to be fulfilled. And finally, the question that you asked, not all jobs will come from the government sector. We will completely redo GST in order to make life easy for MSMEs. See, jobs are not created by Ambanis and Adanis.
No.
Jobs are created by MSMEs. Wealth is maybe created by Adani and Ambani, but jobs are created in the MSME sector. So the MSME sector, 2 things have happened in the last 10 years that has completely destroyed the MSME sector. First, demonetization, completely destroyed it. Second, GST completely destroyed it. So we are redesigning GST. We made a promise of redesigning GST, and the details are there in this manifesto. This will create the private sector engine for job generation. This 30 lakh government employees is the government engine. There are 2 engines. There has to be government engine and there has to be private engine. So this is for the
private will have to come in.
No. Over a period of time, only private sector is going to generate these jobs. The government cannot keep generating these jobs. And for that, the MSMEs are going to be very critical.
Battleground 2024 with the Assam Tribune.